This is the Engine Room on Bomber TV, powered by True Value Solar. 1300 Solar, of course, is the number to call if you want any of your solar panels done at home. We've got the boys with us, Goody and Welly. They've got their serious faces on. Guys, a great win on the weekend. Can we take anything out of that match?
I think you can always take something out of every match, and I think that's the way we've used it as another learning experience for our group. I thought our boys were very good early in the game, especially, and I think we certainly wanted them to be like that and become a real ruthless group. So they certainly put that on display early in the game.
Great to see Kyle Reimers bob up with a few goals, a lazy 8. Have you had any trouble keeping his feet on the ground this week?
He's been very, very good. I mean, he's obviously he played last week as a sub, and that was his first opportunity. So for him to take that opportunity was really good, because his form in the VFL over the past month's been very, very good. He's had to earn his spot, and I think that's great to have people come into the team and actually play their role in the team. And you're not going to kick 8 goals every week, but we expect our players to play a certain way and play a certain role for the team.
We've got the West Coast Eagles this weekend. They've been in some pretty good form. Who do you assess as the key danger men for them?
Oh, there's no doubt. I think they're in good form all over the ground. It's probably not just their midfield now, it's their forwards seem in good nick, as do their defence. So they're in some really good form. They're playing with a new lease of life. They've got a terrific game plan going, and they're going to be really hard work. So obviously their older brigade is starting to get plenty of the ball in Cox, Kerr, Embley. So they're all in good form, which and the youngsters seem to be following.
A couple of questions on the social media channels, Welly, as we always do. Matthew Robinson on Facebook wants to know whether or not, with the 3 ruckman and also Cramery, we're going to continue with Hurley down back for the rest of the year.
I hope so. We're actually fighting over his magnet at the moment at selection table. It's toing and froing at the moment, but I think it was really important last week with obviously Fletch pulling out before the game to have someone with that versatility. We know he's played probably most of his football down back and forward, so it will certainly depend on team needs. But West Coast have got some big forwards, so he may play there at times. We may use him as a forward because we know how important he is and how good a form he has been in as well, and he may be able to stretch West Coast defence. So just have to wait and see.
Well, you mentioned Dustin Fletcher. He's one of our nominations this week for one of the ends at Etihad Stadium to be renamed. We're going to rename the Lockett end, like we did with the Lloyd end, and renaming the Coventry end. You're disappointed that your name wasn't put up for selection there, Willie?
I would have been probably a little bit down the list, I reckon, Justin. But is that true?
That's true.
Oh, that's
he's
great.
Nominated, so we'll find out this week. We're hoping lots of Essendon fans come along to see who the lucky Essendon champion is to be honoured.
Oh yeah, it's a good initiative, and I hope it is Big Lanky. He's been fantastic this year, and I know he was desperate to play last week, and we certainly think that he'll be right this week. And he's just such an important player still, and to still be doing what he's doing is phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. He turns 36 on Saturday, I believe. So that's a milestone in itself, obviously. Now, boys, there is one other question here from Lee Cumming on Facebook, and he's wondering whether or not Hurdy, what's going on with his hair? Can he please get a decent haircut?
I shouldn't throw stones in glass houses. Although I would say, if you've got it, don't waste it. Do something with it.
So keep it around the ears, Goody?
I seem to stick with the wall to keep it pretty basic, as you can see. So I'm certainly not one to talk about hairdos.
Yeah.
Now, in the game on the weekend, that second quarter probably wasn't our greatest quarter of the year. Obviously, the Gold Coast outscored us. Everyone wants to know whether or not Hurdy gave the boys and you guys gave the boys a rev up at half-time.
I think it was more just probably realigning them to the way that we wanted to play the game. I don't think it was a rev up by any stretch of the imagination, but when you kick 15 goals in the first quarter, you spend a lot of energy in creating that, and I think in the second quarter, obviously the mindset probably wasn't as good as what it was, but also probably a little bit of fatigue kicked in, and it was more just about realigning them to the way we wanted to play the game in the second half.
And a massive $1.253 billion in the TV rights last week, Welly. There's been a lot of talk about how that piece of the pie is going to be split up. What about the coaching fraternity? You guys surely want a bigger slice, don't you?
That's a loaded question, isn't it? No, it's a players' game, so I certainly hope the players are putting on the show every week. They're doing an enormous amount of work, and I know they're obviously going through the process at the moment. But I certainly think, and sports in America have probably led the way in terms of rewarding their players a fair piece of that pie. So I think we've got to reward the stars of the game and the people that put the show on each week, and that's the players.
good, you're just out of the game. I think you might even sneak in to get a little bit of that because you're just out of the game. But what's your sort of thoughts on where that money should be distributed and how much more or less the players should potentially get?
Oh, I'm very similar to Sean. I think that the players put on the show and that they should be rewarded for that. And that's what the fans come to see. That's why we get the television rights that we do get. And the players deserve to get the piece of the pie that they do deserve. And I think, as Welly said, the American sports have led the way in that. They certainly get a lot bigger than what the current AFL players get. And a significant increase would be certainly just reward for the show they are putting on.
Boys, thanks for being with us. Good luck on Sunday, and to all Essendon fans, come down to Etihad Stadium. Bring your mother along as well. It's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mum, and we'll see you on Sunday.